So, next example. A common comment under the previous videos where I explain this Windows Photo Viewer can't open this picture because damaged, corrupted, or too large, is that people saying, okay, I did what you demonstrated in your video, but I get a message where JPEG Repair tells me no SOS marker found. So what we'll do is, I have some other example files. I will first try to repair them using that method we just used. These are the corrupt files. I select the corrupt files. I select 2 of them. Click OK. It asks for the reference file. I give it the reference file. So, now one of the pictures, it manages to actually repair a tiny line of MCUs. And the other one says, gives that familiar error message, no SOS detected. Now, when you get the message, no SOS detected, what we also see is that it says the entropy for this file is 7.97. Now, this is what you can expect for a JPEG file. An entropy of 7.97 doesn't by definition mean that it is JPEG data, but it says it could be JPEG data. So it's worth an effort. If it would say 1.20 or if it would say 0.00, then this basically means there is no JPEG data inside that file. So it will never find this start of scan marker. And since it contains no JPEG data, it's no use trying to repair it. Nothing can repair it and no one can repair it. For a JPEG file, for you to be able to repair a JPEG file, it needs to contain JPEG data. You cannot just poof that data into existence out of thin air. So this is very important. No SOS detected is one thing. It tells us the damage is not limited to just the header. But seeing this 7.97 bits per byte entropy means it could be JPEG data. Now, these pictures were recovered from a corrupt memory card. And it's a very common thing, unfortunately, that Undelete or file recovery software recovers corrupt files. Basically what happens, most software scans for pointers to files. So there's like this, say, a table in the file system where it says JPEG file this is here and JPEG file that is there. And if this table is corrupt or pointing to arbitrary data and arbitrary position on this memory card, the recovery software will just copy the data it finds on this location and puts it in a file with a JPEG extension. And this is a corrupt JPEG file. What else can I say? So the entropy looks right, which is good, especially knowing the file was recovered from a memory card containing JPEGs. You could also get this kind of entropy with a zip file. So if you would be scanning a hard drive, recovering JPEGs from a hard drive, and those come out corrupt, then this 7.97 bits per byte entropy has less value because there are many more compressed, because basically it means it's compressed data. There are many more compressed file formats that could result in this kind of entropy. So then we need an alternative method to repair this file. And JPEG Repair offers an alternative method. Now, where we could batch process files where the damage is limited to the header, we cannot batch process this. We have to do this file by file. What we will basically tell JPEG Repair to do is assume this portion is not there. We'll tell it, okay, we'll give you a healthy file. There you can take this portion from, and then glue that onto whatever we give you. And we hope, and we expect this to be JPEG data, seeing the entropy we had. We use the patch mode for this. Select your corrupted file, the file you want to repair. I repaired these for a customer, and he agreed that I could use them for a video, those files, but it's been a while, so I don't even know how successful this will be. Now, what we want to tell a JPEG Repair is to append a header to whatever data we give it. And because we enable this option, append header, we click OK, it will ask us for the reference file. We give it the same reference file as we only have one reference file. And now we click repair. Okay. So it's doing its thing. Now this is interesting to see, and it illustrates what you often get with corrupt files recovered from a memory card. This portion of the file is headerless JPEG data, which can now be decoded because we glued a header onto it. This portion of the file is part of another JPEG. So basically these JPEGs are stored on a memory card. You have this row of JPEGs, and the recovery software recovered a portion of headerless JPEG data and a portion of the next JPEG file, and it basically just stuffed that into one file, and it gave it the JPEG extension. Okay, so now the next step would be to try to make this look a bit more presentable, and this should do using this byte editor. This is basically a byte editor. It only does it doesn't show you the bytes. It shows you the interpreted data after decoding the data with a JPEG header, which we gave it. Now, apart from the JPEG header, it also includes a little bit of JPEG data. You see, if you look closely, you can see here up to this point. That's JPEG data from the reference file. Now, what we want to do is we want to get this portion, which is the left boundary of the picture. We want that of the image, the left boundary of the image. We want to be that at the left boundary of the picture. And we do that by selecting a point, which is a bit arbitrary, and then remove bytes, and I will show you. We're removing actual bytes, and JPEG Repair shows us the effect of that. I want to see if I can make it look a little nicer. Yeah, this looks better. The color looks better. Okay, I'm fine with this. And so, but now I have, how do you call this? I have shifted this image too far, so I will add a couple of bytes again to shift it back. And like I said, you will not get a 100% picture, but you can get a very decent picture. And if you have to choose between nothing and a decent picture, one less. Well, this is freaking annoying. I'll settle for this for now, because otherwise this video will take 3 hours. So what did I do? I picked a point, arbitrary I said, but I picked it relatively close to the start of the file. I removed bytes until the color looked better, and then I add bytes, 0 bytes, stuffed bytes, to shift it in the right position. Now this is part of another file. We can get rid of it by telling the header, okay, we don't need that part. You can also just paste this into a photo editor and then how do you call it? Crop it. Crop. Something like this. This is the copy to clipboard thing. It's on the clipboard now. I can say paste into a new image, and now we can cut off any unwanted parts. We can even see if auto level. Ah, this looks nice. So We still need to crop a little more, like so. So this is how you can repair a picture with a corrupt header and a partially corrupt image data. So initially this picture will give you the message no SOS detected in JPEG Repair when you try to repair it. But with a good entropy, basically it will tell you in green if it thinks the entropy is okay, and then red if the entropy is not JPEG-like. You can also click this one time. And then very often I get images where people say, okay, no SOS detected, and then when I actually open the file, it's filled with zeros. So you could easily spot that here by 0.00 entropy, and if you then watch in hex, this will be entirely zeros or a repeating byte pattern, F, 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 etc., etc., etc. Yeah, this is what it is. This is so this is header damage extending into the actual image data, which results in no SOS detected in JPEG Repair, but with good entropy you can often still repair the image if you have a valid reference file. Okay, and then the next thing I'll show you is that what you can do for raw files using JPEG Repair.